MTG Arena Cube's back, and better than ever, I think. Closer to real Cube than it's ever been, and I think pretty fun. So we got a lot of new Mystical Archives, a few cards from Strixhaven, but really it's the Mystical Archives that have kind of pushed this into, we're actually playing Cube territory, you know. But a lot of interesting things are happening, a lot of new evaluations, you know. Cards that are like cheap interaction have gone up a lot in value because, you know, the format's just gotten that much more efficient. So, that said, Atarka's Command would be very good in an aggressive Gruul deck. Obviously, it kind of locks us into a two-color aggressive deck, so not much wiggle room as a first pick. Besides that, nothing super jumps out. Pilgrim of the Ages is good in multiple different kinds of decks. White Weenie, a control deck, it would be good there as well. Venerated Loxodon, if we wanted to go White Weenie, would be probably better than just Pilgrim of the Ages. Besides that, I guess I'm going to take the most powerful card, which is Atarka's Command. Atarka's Command is just the bomb. 4 different options. Opponents can't gain life, deal 3 damage to each opponent. You put a land into play, which usually is not what you pick. And the big one is creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain reach. So the combination of dealing 3 to your opponent and also giving all your creatures +1/+1 just makes it a great aggressive card. For 2 mana at instant speed, it's pretty hard to beat. That said, Chandra would be good in an Atarka's Command deck. Gonti is always good, especially as the cube gets better, Gonti just gets better. It's a lot better than it looks. And besides that, Solemn's fine. It can go into like a nice control deck or value deck pretty easily. Paradise Druid can be nice if we pick up some mutators. It's a pretty good thing to mutate onto. Banefire, pretty good, and really more of a controlling deck. It's a good way to kind of, if you have a clock, it's a good way to kind of really kill your opponent out of nowhere. And Lightning Axe is also kind of fine. Again, 1 mana interaction has gone up a lot in value. I think we're going to take the Chandra, though. Chandra... Okay, Chandra, calm down. Chandra's just good with Atarka's Command. She makes tokens to pump up with the Atarka's Command, hasty tokens, so we can make that, you know, 7 damage combining these 2 cards pretty easily. And also she can flashback Atarka's Command, so we can use it twice. So these 2 make us want to go in a pretty particular direction. Lorehold Command could be good in a deck like that as well. If we go maybe Naya Go Wide, we'd have to start picking up fixing pretty aggressively because these are aggressive cards, right? You typically don't want a 3-color aggressive deck, but we could kind of go more mid-rangey with a fast clock, you know, instead of just full-on aggression. And these would be, you know, Chandra would be good in that kind of shell. Besides that, Elvish Rejuvenator's fine, and really there's nothing else for us here besides maybe like Perforos's Intervention, which is okay. I think we're going to take the Lorehold Command. We're going to see if we can make this work. Kind of Naya mid-range aggro. Oh, okay, Scorching Dragonfire, Primal and Primal Might are both pretty good. Thrashing Brontodon would also be nice, but we kind of want to go a little wider than we do want to go taller. So we would like either a 2-drop, or if we're going to have a 3-drop, maybe something that comes along with, you know, multiple bodies. Dragonfire is probably fine. Again, interaction is hard to overvalue here, and something we can flashback pretty easily with Chandra. So, okay, Elvish Reclaimer is pretty interesting as a 1-drop that eventually becomes more than a 1-drop potentially, although this isn't quite the deck where we're going to get it up to a 3/3 super easily. Quandrix's Command I've also found to be pretty good, but I think we just take the fixing here. So just as a general rule in Cube, fixing's good. Like, fixing, you usually want to take fixing pretty highly because you're not going to be short on playables, right? There's just so many good cards in a typical Cube that you really don't need to focus on playables as much as you do during normal drafting. So whenever you can pick up some great fixing and pathways are pretty good, we'll be happy to do so. Here, maybe just take the Rimrock Knight. It's a early threat that goes well with the Atarka's Command, and also, you know, it's kind of a combat trick. I think that's better than taking... We could also go Teamer, take something like Jeskai Elder, but I think we're just going to take the Rimrock Knight. It does a pretty good job at... kind of putting the hammer down. Wow, nobody's taking lands. But we're going to take the Pillar of Flames here. I think that's better than Brainstorm, although Brainstorm is a pretty good card. We could take Brainstorm and really go towards that Teamer aggro plan, but, I mean, Brainstorm's pretty good to get back. But I think we have this really good option that's in our colors. Pillar of Flames is a pretty nice card. Wow. Spell Pierce too. Spell Pierce is quite good. Like I said, 1 mana interaction, even something as limited as Spell Pierce, where it can only hit non-creatures, and your opponent has to not have enough mana to pay. Even with that restriction, it's still very good. I think we just take the Jaspara Sentinel though. Yeah, I don't want to go into blue if I don't need to. We're not even likely to be running this Lorehold command. That's just as a sort of backup option. We want to be in 2 colors if we can get away with it. So we're just gonna pick up the Jaspara Sentinel here. Wow, blue does seem pretty open. Maybe we just take the Faya Bushes. I don't really want the dive down. Yeah, I guess we take the blue card here. If they're gonna make us take it, we'll take it. Lightning Axe, Chainweb Arachneer, or Banefire. I think we take the Lightning Axe. It's a little meh in an aggro deck. Maybe we just take the Banefire. Banefire's probably fine. Here, nothing much for us. I guess out of these, we're most likely to play Spectral Sailor if we do end up in a teamer, you know, red, green, blue color deck. Sure. So kind of a weird start, I gotta say. Not exactly what I was expecting us to start out like when we picked up this Atarkus command turn 1. I think blue seems to be the most open color, and yeah, I mean, we'll take the Jeskai Elder here. Maybe we end up in teamer. We do have a couple good blue cards. No, I'm not gonna play Compulsive Research, but maybe we end up in teamer if we need to. Wow. Venerable Warsinger would be pretty good though in this deck. Ram through, maybe. Yeah, these aren't really the cards we want. Burris Gerholt could be okay, but I think we take the. I think Venerable Warsinger goes pretty well with what we're doing here. A way to get back our early threats, and wow, Rada's pretty good. Nightpack and Pusher would also be pretty good. Just a. It doesn't take much for this card to run away with a game, especially if we do go into blue. If we decided to shift into blue here and use counterspells to protect it, it's quite good. But I think we just take Rada. Again, we're not super into this, super locked into Naya. Adding in white here is just a good option we have. So probably just take Royal Eruption. Dragonkin Berserker can also just kind of demands an answer. It's not like crazy good 5 mana to make a 5/5, but a 2 mana early attacker that can get pretty aggressive and then eventually becomes a big threat is pretty good. But Royal Eruption would also be nice. I think we just take we take him though. Cultivate's one of the better cards in the cube and would let us play 3 colors pretty easily though. But I think we stick on the aggro plan. We just give up on the 3rd colors. Ooh yeah, Llanowar Elves is a really nice pickup. Yeah, so Llanowar Elves, if we can get back this Young Pyromancer, we'd like it. Or Blossoming Defense, or Stomping Ground. There's a lot of good stuff for us to get back. But Llanowar Elves is just maybe one of the top cards in the cube, so we can't really pass that up. Here, Earthshaker Kenra would be a good aggressive card. Lightning Strike, probably just going to take Lightning Strike, to be honest. As good as Earthshaker Kenra is, having the reach factor and also having some good interaction is pretty good with Lightning Strike. Kenra, I think we'll probably get Kenra back, so we'll take the Lightning Strike. So we're mostly red here. We have some green, and our green isn't actually especially good. I wonder if... I guess a Atarkus command is a pretty good reason to stay in green. I was thinking, I wonder if it makes sense to be more of a red-blue or red-white aggressive deck rather than red-green. Is Lorehold command and Venerable Warsinger better than a Atarkus command? I think the answer is no. But interesting that that's even an option on the table. Don't really care about this Elvish Reclaimer. Jaspara Sentinel's okay, I guess. It can get us to a 3-drop early, but not really. I mean, it's not going to get us to us on turn 2. Well, okay, Domri's kind of interesting. Domri can be... light up the stage is card draw, though. So we want... so Domri makes our threats a little more aggressive. Can ramp us, which doesn't especially matter. I guess it can help with Chandra having that extra bit of mana. Also with being able to activate Rada, I guess it gets us there a little faster too. And it can be kind of removal. But light up the stage is just a pretty good, basically draw 2 in our deck, in any aggressive deck. Oh, this is a tough one. I think we take Light Up the Stage. There's a chance Domri comes back, because who else wants Domri, right? Nobody. Regrowth is kind of interesting. We're not really the regrowth deck. Maybe just Devil's Play. What good regrowth targets do we have here? I guess like regrowthing back a Light Up the Stage is kind of interesting. Bane firing early and then regrowthing it back and Bane firing in the late game, but Devil's Play has the same sort of effect. We can kind of ping a couple things. I'm going to take the regrowth. I don't know if we're actually going to play either one of these, but I think the chances are higher on regrowth. Okay, so we got a lot of good options in this pack. Shelter Thicket, of course, would be fantastic. Magda is probably what we're going to take. Glorybringer's just got to be the choice, right? Glorybringer's just a ridiculous card, but man, there was a lot of good cards in that pack. Probably just pick up the Ram Through. See if we can get some more chunky threats to make this Ram Through a little bit better. Sure. Royal Eruption, okay. Oh wow, we got all of these back, huh? Stomping Ground is pretty tempting. Yeah, I think we take that over Vashino Pyromancer. And Blossoming Defense is a good card, but we kind of already have enough, we kind of just want actual threats, I think, at this point. Yeah, we're not playing any of these. Maybe we'll play Faithless Looting if we feel like we need to, but probably not. Yeah, so we're pretty much just looking for threats at this point. We've got 7 creatures. We'd like to get that up to quite a bit more. Maybe if we can pick up like 5 or more good creatures, I think this deck will be in a pretty good spot. Right, last pack, let's see. Ooh, Ulamog. Somebody's gonna be happy with this Ulamog. Shock would be nice. I think we just take the Pelt Collector though. Pelt Collector kind of does everything we want. Anax would also be kind of interesting, come to think of it. Anax, if they blow up our board and leave us with a bunch of tokens, we can just turn around and kill them with the Atarkus command, but I think we're going to take the Pelt Collector as a 1-drop. Maybe Anax is just better, actually. Yeah, we're going to take the Anax. That might be a mistake, but I think Anax goes pretty well with what we're doing here. Voracious Hydra's not the worst. We could also take Thundering Rebuke, but we kind of have a lot of interaction at the 2-drop spot in terms of getting things out of the way. I don't think we really need Thundering Rebuke. And Incubation Druid is pretty meh. Riz the Redeemed might be okay, I guess. Sort of an army in a camp, but he's very slow. I think we're just going to take the Voracious Hydra. That plus Glorybringer gives us a little bit of top end. Ooh, wow. Well, Torbrand's pretty good. I mean, most of the cards in our deck are red. We do have a few mono green cards, but the majority of them are red, so I think Torbrand's actually pretty fantastic. So we're going to take Torbrand. It's going to make us less likely to run this Voracious Hydra. Oh wow, and a Rampaging Ferocidon seems pretty good. Yeah, we're definitely going to take that. Skewer the Critics, hopefully we can wheel that. Probably put away that Voracious Hydra. And maybe even this Elvish Reclaimer seems pretty bad. So, we'll see. We might end up running one of those depending on how many playables we got. Ruin Blaster's not bad. Yeah, how many humans? We don't have many humans. I think the question is between Gem Razor versus Goblin Ruin Blaster. Ruin Blaster I've found to be pretty good. You can kind of catch people with their pants down, but having some Artifact or Enchantment Hate main deck would be pretty good, and this is better with Ram Through. Alright, we'll take the Angaikris, or whatever this is called, the Gem Razor. Here's not much for us. I guess we just take the Stonecoil Serpent. Captivating Crew is interesting, but I don't think we're quite the Captivating Crew deck. And, oh, Lightning Bolt. Fantastic pickup for us here. Yeah, I think that's better definitely than Reclamation Sage and Resilient Killer, although we'd happily play either of those. But Lightning Bolt's pretty hard to beat. Okay, Dragon's Guard Elite seems pretty interesting. How many instant sorceries do we got? 5, 10? We got 10? Oh yeah, actually Dragon's Guard Elite seems fantastic. Okay, so we got some good pickups here at the end. See if we get any fixing. Probably play shock over... Play shock over something like... Royal Eruption, I guess. Probably the worst of our two-drop interactive spells. Speaking of two-drop interactive spells, I guess we take Thundering Rebuke. Is there anything worth swapping out? You know, maybe we actually... Maybe we keep the Royal Eruption. Maybe the instant speed nature isn't really... I do think that Scorching Dragonfire is better... whatever, just take Thundering Rebuke, we're not going to play it. I do think that Scorching Dragonfire is just better in general than Royal Rebuke, but this can hit our opponent. We're pretty aggressive. So it looks like we're not going to get any more fixing, so we're running a little roughshod with only 2 fixers, but hopefully we'll be okay. Yeah, wow, we've got all the 2-mana red spell kill something cards. Yeah, I guess we'll take this. Maybe we can cut a land. Yeah, this makes me feel better about cutting a land with this Kalni Ambush being our 17th land. We'll have to think about what we want to cut here, because right now we're at, if we 1, 2, 3 and cut a land, I guess we're at 23 exactly, so cutting 1 land here, probably a forest will be fine. These rests probably won't be anything we can use, we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky and get back some sort of fixing that I'm not thinking of, but I think our chances of that are pretty well past at this point. So we'll just take Bubble Snare, sure. And last but not least, Boon, which we will not be playing. Okay, so we are Gruul aggro, and we can go a little bit tall with stuff like, you know, some finishers like Glorybringer. Torbrand would be fantastic. We just got a lot of... That's another reason to run Royal Eruption over Scorching Dragonfires. Royal Eruption can just be 2 mana, deal 5 to our opponent's face if we have a Torbrand out, so it's a really good way to close things out. So yeah, I think we're actually pretty well set up here. We're just going to cut a forest. That leaves us with 10 red sources, 8 green sources. That's plenty, yeah. And I think we're actually in pretty good shape here. So yeah, let's hop into the games. Alright, so Gruul aggro, got a Dragonscar Elite to proc off of all of our burn spells. We've got some ramp to get us to our 3 and 4 drops pretty early. Glorybringer to kind of finish things out. So yeah, looks pretty good to me. Alright, on to game 1. Okay, up against Overkill for you. We can't keep this. Ugh. This is why fixing is important. Alright, here I guess we go down the Chandra. Yeah. We'll go down the Chandra. I'm not sure about that, but I think keeping this thing that can be either a land or a removal spell, and Brada can kind of dig us into a little bit more lands, which would be helpful. Alright, so opponent's on mono black, I guess. Yeah, just some mono black deck. Not exactly aggro, but mono black something or other. I think we play the Dragonkin Berserker. With first strike, this shuts down their Gutter Bones pretty severely. Okay, they're just going to Doomblade it, sure. That's fine. We would love to draw a 1-mana spell here. Okay. Not going to happen. Alright, so we're going to go play the Rada. Take a peek. Okay, Shock's pretty good. That means next turn we can go Dragonscar Elite and leave up Shock to put a counter on it at instant speed. Valmire Knight, sure. Yeah, boy. Play that Mountain, play Dragon Guard's Elite, combat, attack. Opponent takes it, sure. Pass turn. We can do a lot of stuff at instant speed here. Liliana. Alright, let's see what they do with it. They've got 4 cards, so nothing we can really... Like, growing this by +1/+1 doesn't do a lot. So let's see. If we Atarka's Command, grow it to 4, yeah, it doesn't really do anything. So we just let this happen, sure. Valmire Knight, sure. We will... Do we want to just... We'll just shock this thing. We'll make them think they can save their Liliana by blocking here. So we'll attack. We'll probably just throw Stitchers and Flyer in front of it. Yeah. Opponent mill some. Sure. Okay. Then we'll go Royal Eruption. I guess we'll just Lightning Strike the Liliana. Counter on our dude. Pass turn. Let's see what they do. Mind Stone. I imagine they have stuff like Blood for Bones to get back stuff like Toski, is the idea. Right? We're just playing some dudes. Wow, okay, they're gonna just try to race. I don't know about this playing opponent. We could burn them for 2. Okay, so we burn for 3, they go down to 13, put a counter on this. Hit them for 5, they go down to 8. We can burn them for 5 more. No, we can burn them for 3 more. That's 5, then down to 1. That's 4, so they're still not quite dead. So I think we... Yeah, I think we hold off on the Atarka's command for just a second. Ooh, regrowth's pretty good. So we're going to go Royal Eruption, burn our opponent. Regrowth, get back Lightning Strike. We should be able to burn them out from here. Pass turn. Yeah, we would have... They're at 1 point short. Like, we can hit them for 3 with this Tarkus command and 3 with a Lightning Strike, but they're just 1 point short from us just having them dead on board. Spider spawning, sure. Yeah, we can't quite do it. So let's go... I guess we should have played this ambush, but let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And... no attacks. Pass turn. Callous Blood Mage. Alright, probably just gonna draw... Oh, if they draw a card and lose a life, they just lose the game. They don't even know... Oh, they... Oh, sure, they've got the life gain, but unfortunately for our opponent, we have got exactly lethal here with our burn spells. So, yeah. That shows the power, really, of Dragon's Guard Elite. So, 3 damage to each opponent. Opponents can't gain life, sure, doesn't matter. And then Lightning Bolt them in the face. Opponent, it might have been a misplay for our opponent to to go down to 6 against us when they knew we had the Lightning Strike in hand, but regardless, they weren't in a good place. So, really, this shows the power of Dragon's Guard Elite. This is just a really, really good card, especially in a deck like ours that has just a bunch of, you know, easy interaction at 1 and 2 mana. It just gets out of control so fast. Our opponent just didn't have a removal spell for it, and it hit them for, I don't know, a ton of damage, and it became a threat they couldn't really deal with. So sweet. All right, on to the next one. All right, up against Master Roshi, and we'll keep this. A little bit awkward. Disperse Sentinel doesn't do much right now. In fact, Disperse Sentinel maybe just shouldn't be in our deck, but I don't know if we have a better option to bring in. Okay, we will attack. And I think we're just gonna play out this Rimrock Knight. No extra value, but it gives us a pretty... I mean, this is 4 damage coming across. They gotta do something. Emergent Sequence, I guess, counts as something, but not really. Okay, so we're gonna have 5 mana next turn, so I think we just go... I kind of want to do a Targus command this turn, potentially, but I think we're just gonna go curve out here. Play Rada, play Glorybringer, just smash our opponent for 1,000,000 damage. They'll have to trade, like, their planes with our Rimrock Knight next turn. It's hard to tell this is a planes, but it's a planes. Even though it's blue and green, it's actually taps for white. Yeah, I mean, going Glorybringer into a Tarkus command next turn seems really good. Oh, we don't... That is... Okay. I guess, you know, maybe they gotta do what they gotta do, but... They are most likely going to Wrath next turn. I think that's the only reason they would do something like this, is they need the double white to Wrath next turn. That's a pretty good draw. So we're going to go play this. You know what? Maybe we don't play into the Wrath. Maybe instead we do. Maybe shocking myself was kind of a mistake if we're doing this, but I think this is actually better. And this puts us in a position where if they Wrath, they just lose, because we have this hasty Glorybringer sitting in our hand. So, no, okay, Noxious Gearhulk is actually pretty good. I think we're still fine, but that, yeah, we're still fine, especially with this shock. But we're just going to go Glorybringer, go combat, attack, exert, attack, attack, and our opponent's dead. So we just aggroed him out that game, but, whoo, that Noxious Gearhulk was kind of scary. I expected a Wrath. So our other option the previous turn, instead of just shocking ourselves for no reason and then playing a Tarkus command, we could have shocked ourselves for a purpose and played out Glorybringer, but to do that we would have to tap just Sparta Sentinel and Rimrock Knight, so we'd be getting across for 7 damage last turn. And it would mean we have the Glorybringer out, but that would leave us more susceptible to a Wrath. So I think we actually did it right. I think Tarkus commanding there was actually better. It got us just a ton of damage across the board, pinged our opponent, and put them in a position where they had to both gain life and Wrath our board to survive. And they kind of almost got there with the Noxious Gearhulk, which was gain life, put a blocker into play, and remove one of our threats. So almost kind of a board wipe and gained them 3 life. Yeah, Glorybringer is still just a messed up card. A 5 mana, kill your creature, hasty 4/4. Just a brutal card. So yeah, that got us there. Alright, sweet. On to the next one. Alright, up against Brusky, and our mana base is once again coming back to haunt us. Okay, well, let's put the regrowth at the bottom. This is something. I mean, we would really like a 1 or 2 mana threat rather than just some burn spells, but I mean, it's something. We'll see what our opponent plays. We're pretty okay with just bolting creatures here because eventually this Chandra... Oh yeah, speaking of bolting creatures, we are not going to let that one survive. That is a card that will absolutely just win the game if left alive. Alright, Boris, pass turn. But we're pretty okay with bolting creatures because it means we're going to be able to get this Chandra down safely, and then we can flash back those removal spells for burn later. Okay, well, Demonic Tutor, that's not good. We're not gonna just lightning strike our opponent in the face though. That's more when we're certain that we're gonna be able to close out the game. We're not gonna just indiscriminately do that. So, Chandra, a couple elementals, hit our opponent. All right, and now we're in pretty good shape. If our opponent just kills our Chandra, it's a little sad, but killing a Planeswalker seems a little harder for them. Captivating. Yeah, okay. That's something we're definitely just going to bolt away. Yeah, we'll just go Lightning Strike him. Play the Dragonkin Berserker, which becomes a threat that they must answer, essentially. So now they really need to kill this Dragonkin Berserker, because next turn we're just going to play a land and start making 5/5s. Wow. Wow, that's literally the perfect card. Wow. Okay, well that probably wins in the game. That's pretty brutal. That's one of the very few cards in the format that would actually win in the game from a pretty disadvantageous position there. But that is brutal. Remember, from Predator. Yeah, I don't think we can come back from that. We need to. Okay, interesting. I guess we just do this now. Banefire. Okay, so we can Banefire for 1, 2, 3. I guess we can do it on the Predator, and they have to sack the Glorybringer to keep it alive. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Will they sack the Glorybringer? They probably shouldn't. Okay, well. Alright, so they're going to start just Glory bringing our Anax. They might just... Nah, there's no way they're going to ignore an Annex, but... Maybe? Okay, they're just going to go for the... Okay, well, MacLeod makes that make perfect sense. So our opponent is essentially just running a better version of our deck, I think. Oh, this is brutal. Yeah, I don't think we can win from here. Well, that's something at least. Okay, so we can... The problem is... We can blow up this, but the problem is they just kill our Angiacris, or whatever the card's called. Yeah, well, we're gonna do it. Put it over. That's not what I thought. I guess it keeps that. I thought putting it on top would overwrite Anax's effect, but I guess it doesn't. Okay, well, that's a little unfortunate. Lesson learned, I guess. So Anax has this effect where... Yeah, we're just dead. We're actually just going to scoop it up. We can't really come back from here, but... So Anax has this effect where he gets additional power for all of our red pips on the battlefield, all of our red devotion. So currently we have 0 because we put Angiacris on top, so that overwrites the red pips from Anax, who's below him. So that actually gives him 0 power. But what I thought was going to happen was... I thought power changing effects wouldn't actually work through the mutation. I don't know, mutate's kind of a weird ability, so interesting. I guess we all learned a lesson here, but we were just dead regardless. Having this Lavamancer to ping our blocker out of the way here, and just Glorybringer through, kill our Annex. Yeah, we were just dead. Yep, our opponent just had kind of a disgusting deck, but I think we were in a really good position until that Glorybringer came down, and Glorybringer might have been the only card in the format that took us from a winning position to a very far behind position in that exact spot. There's other ways that could have gotten out of it, but just in terms of one card at 5 mana that takes us from pretty favored to pretty unfavored, it might have just been Glorybringer. That might have just been the perfect card. So brutal stuff. But hey, we got a Glorybringer too. So on to the next one. Hopefully we draw ours. All right, this is a pretty meh hand, but it's functional, so I guess we keep it. Here we'll probably just go turn 1 Jaspara Sentinel, turn 2 Stonecoiled Serpent if we don't draw anything better, and follow it up with turn 3 Anax. Let's see though. Hopefully we actually draw a 2-drop we want to use besides Stonecoiled Serpent, but looks like the answer is no. I think we do just go tap this thing for 2, attack. And this puts us in a position where next turn we can play Anax. If our opponent's big idea here is to wrath us, we get a bunch of tokens out of it. So let's go Anax. Attack. They may have Warrant Warden. Because it paused when we attacked, they may have Warrant Warden. Something to keep in mind. Alright, well, we'll go... I guess we just attack here. I kind of expect to see Warrant Warden here. Yeah, sure. So we're going to go Rimrock Knight, the Stonecoil Serpent. Play Rimrock Knight. This does leave us open to a Wrath, which would be bad. Okay, they don't have the mana. All right, so we're definitely gonna play Anax pre-combat. I think we do shock ourselves here just in case they have some sort of mana leak type effect for 2. I think there's Quash or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the card's called, but this puts us in a position where if they kill one of our creatures, we're gonna get a token out of it because we have Anax on the battlefield. Okay. Yeah, sure. We're just going to replay it for 2. Again, we're just keeping the pressure on. We have ample burn spells in hand, so we just want to put them in a position where they... Like, even if they Wrath here, we get 1, 2, 3, 4 tokens, and we're just going to be able to burn them out. So, they really... I don't think there's any way out. Yeah. And they agree. They missed a land drop one too many times, and... But even... I mean, okay, there was one turn where we were vulnerable. One turn. The turn where they wardened our Anax. If they had untapped, drew a land, and then wrathed our board, that would have been a pretty bad place for us to be. But any other time besides that one turn, we were pretty well protected thanks to Anax. That's kind of the key of Anax, is he protects us from wraths, and also he can, you know, really if you can get your hands on on Embercleave, he's fantastic. But outside of the magical every card you want land that we don't live in, he's pretty good in our deck still, because our opponent was just dead essentially no matter what at this point. If they wrapped their board, if they had exactly the perfect card for the situation, which was destroy all of our creatures, we still win the game. So, and this Banefire especially, you know, we just had so much burn in hand. And this Banefire, we could even get it up to, we didn't have to, what we could do next turn, if our opponent had, let's say they had a card that said exile all of our creatures, well, we could, you know, we could play whatever we get off the top here, burn them with a lightning strike, and just hold on to this Banefire until we can pay 6 mana for it, because then X will be 5 or more, they can't counter it, and they're just going to die. So we had them dead regardless, essentially no matter what, because if we drew lands, they were dead. If we drew non-lands, they were dead. So yeah, we were in a really good position here. Alright, on to the next one. Alright, up against Ratty, and we will keep this. Jasparo Sentinel being pretty meh, as it always is, but we will play it here. Next turn we'll probably just play Colony Ambush tapped, unless we draw another land off the top here, just to make sure we can hit our Ferocidon. Yeah, it's not really worth leaving up a Tarka's Command to play off curve here. So next turn we'll have to decide if we want to. We'll probably play Rampaging Ferocidon because, interesting, they do nothing. Because next turn we can play Rada and maybe like immediately play a land off the top. Yeah, we'll just play Ferocidon. I guess there's no reason not to do it pre-combat, just in case they flash in something to block here. They'll take 1 point of damage. I don't know what I guess nothing. The answer is nothing. It kind of seemed like they had something they could potentially do there, but I guess not. Interesting. So it kind of looks like we're headed towards a Wrath, but what are we going to do? Just not play our Rada? Yeah, we're going to play it. Ooh, no land off the top, though. Well, get in there while the getting's good. Swift response, okay. But regrowth is looking pretty good here. We get to regrowth back our Ferocidon. Pretty good. Alternatively, wow, okay, they're just going to ramp this turn. Maybe we just, a Tarka's Command, hit our opponent for 1, 2, 3, so 7, 8, 9. Nah, that's got it. Man, we haven't been very lucky with the top of our deck, unfortunately. But we do get to get back Ferocidon. Regrowth is actually a really good card to have with Chandra, because we can use Chandra to recast the Regrowth out of our graveyard to use it again, which is pretty nice. But here, let's just get in for a chunk of damage. Alright, our opponent, I imagine, has a Wrath here. Otherwise, I feel like they would have to affect the board last turn. Wow, Elspeth Conquers Death, sure. That's really... And they go after the... I guess they kind of need to, because if we draw a land off the top here, we could just pump it. Riz the Redeemed, sure. Okay, so we can play Chandra. I think we just... We play Chandra, make 2 1/1s. Yeah, I think that's what we do. We're gonna get pinged twice during this exchange.
Basically anything.
But the other option, yeah. Yeah. Ping, ping, ping. But this puts us in a position to do just a truckload of damage next turn. We could have even, you know, used Jaspar's Sentinel plus one of these tokens to make a red mana and a Tarka's Command at this turn. But I think we're better off just saving that for next turn, where it's guaranteed lethal through pretty much anything, as long as we actually have creatures on the board here. I guess even if we don't have creatures on the board, we can go... Yeah, so they're going to need something pretty special here for us not to just kill them. Woven Walled Hydra is not that thing. This should be fine. Yeah, because now we can just make 2 tokens, a Tarka's Command, burn them down to 2, and make all of our attackers lethal. So they should be dead in a half here. Oh yeah, especially now. So, make 2 1/1s.
Don't worry, I brought them.
A Tarka's Command, 3 damage, pump all our creatures, and that's the power of a Tarka's Command. It is a messed up magic card. Alright, so our opponent was on some sort of Abzan control deck, but whatever it was, we took it down. Alright, well, so far, Drool aggro has just been crushing. So, okay, on to the next one. Alright, up against Dr. Parbus, and we will definitely keep this. We'll have to decide, do I want to play this Stone-Coiled Serpent turn 1? Yes. We're doing it. Because the reason we're doing this is that sets us up for a turn 3 in Gaiacris, which will get the +1/+1 counter on this naturally and will be a pretty huge threat. Okay. Well, we're fine just hitting here and leaving up our Lightning Strike to deal with any sort of threat they play. Sure. We actually don't even care about Earthshaker Kinra. We're not even going to bolt this. They can go ahead and hit us for 2. Sure. Live your best life, buddy. Alright, so now we're going to go... Yeah, this is the good shit. Play a 3-mana 5/5. Unfortunately, we don't get to... blow up anything as well, but a 3-mana hasty 5/5, essentially, is a pretty good place to be. That should be kind of hard for red-white to deal with. They might have like a double burn spell to kill it here, but that's okay. Alright. Okay, well that's going to have to die for sure. So, we'll see what they do here. We do have this Lightning Strike at instant speed. And Rimrock Knight with a... Okay. Ooh, a Targus Command. Not bad. We'll attack here. We should have... Okay, so here we're going to go... Here we're going to go Royal Eruption on Luminarch Aspirant. Mountain... I guess Rimrock Knight's not going to do much. So I think we just pass the turn here. Probably just bolt our opponent. Try to go for lethal. Oh, okay. So this is going to put... Is this lethal against us? So 1, 2... So it's going to put 2 tokens, so he'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those will be bumped up to... I think we go to 1? Let me just make sure I got the math right. So they make 2 tokens. They'll have 5 tokens. They all go to +2, or they go up to 2 power. That's 10. Then pump this up 14. Okay, we're actually fine with this. If they just attack with everything, I think we just win. Let me just make sure one more time. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. Yeah, so we just win here. Alright. I had to make super extra sure I was doing the math right. But we do just win here. Alright. Rimrock Knight it up. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Alright. Woo! That was pretty close, but really it wasn't that close. This ram through would have been just ridiculous against our opponent, because this ram through, we could use it on one of their 1/1 tokens. That's going to kill the token and also deal 6 damage. Then we have a Tarkus command to pump our dude up by +1/+1, which will get through even more trample damage, also burn him for 3. And we have this Rimrock Knight, which gives him +2/+0, which plus trample. We just had him super mega dead. We just had to not die last turn, which turns out we could have used this Lightning Strike to save ourselves from 4 points of damage by blowing up this Earthshaker Kinra, but we just didn't need to. We actually went down to 1, so yeah, we just had our opponent. It seemed close, and, you know, I guess maybe there could have been some way our opponent could have won if they had a little bit more, like, burn or something rather than this Strom's expertise, but really we just had them super mega dead this turn, so this was kind of their last turn to do something, and they didn't quite get there, so sweet. Alright. Red-green aggro being red-white aggro, or I guess that was more of a red-white tokens deck, which was kind of interesting, more than specifically aggro, but whatever it was, we beat it. So, alright, on to the next one. Alright, up against Mr. Mime, and this looks okay. We don't have something we really want to do on turn... Like, before we had a reason to play Stone-Coiled Serpent on turn 1, but here I think we're just going to wait till turn 2. Okay, well... Now I'm going to play this for 2. Glorybringer's kind of interesting. It kind of makes me wish we had played this Call in the Ambush last turn. Do we need to kill Magda? Magda is a problem, for sure. Do we need to kill Magda? I guess we can't even really do it without killing our own creature, so I guess we... Okay, we're gonna attack. Play Ferocidon, which is almost certainly gonna die, but maybe we should have left Stonecoil Serpent back. It's hard to say. That's not much better, right? I mean, what's gonna be messed up here is they're gonna go 2-mana kill spell, kill our Ferocidon, attack with Magda, get to ramp. But yeah. But alternatively, if we lead back Stonecoil Serpent, are we that much better off? Ooh, that's kind of rough. Lava Coil. Well, that's gonna mean we can't really leave back. Jeez. Okay, so we're gonna go. Play Rada. See if it lands on top. It is. Alright, good. Play the land. Play Llanowar Elves. So Rada is definitely dying here. Do we want to trade this Stonecoil Serpent for Magda? Llanowar Elves kind of keeps it back because they don't... Yeah, you know what? We're attacking. We're attacking. If they've got... I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Magda's a scary card. I knew that was going to happen. Do they have another removal spell for Llanowar Elves too? If they have to use a removal spell on Llanowar Elves just to get through with Magda, that's not so bad. And we are going to make the trade. We don't need the extra mana from Llanowar Elves. And it means we don't have to use our Glorybringer to kill Magda. Which we would rather not have to. I mean, we will... If they don't attack here, we'll probably just pop the Magda with Glorybringer. Okay. Yeah. Sure. We'll trade here. Our dream here would be them playing a 3-drop so that we can kill it with Glorybringer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what we wanted, baby. Alright, so red, Glorybringer, attack and exert, attack, blow up the Anax. They get a 1/1 out of it, but who cares? Alright, and now we've got Light Up the Stage, we've got Call in the Ambush, we've got a pretty good setup going here. They're going to be incentivized to attack with the Bomat Carrier to continue growing it, so that hopefully means we can go like Call in the Ambush, have our Glorybringer fight whatever they leave back on defense. This can't block, so this doesn't count, but whatever they leave back on defense, and that'll leave us open to attack with our Stonecoil Serpent, which then turns on our Light Up Stage. So we kind of have a puzzle we're piecing together here. Oh, that's not good. Okay, we need to end this game quickly because Showdown of the Skulls is going to make this impossible for us to win pretty quickly. Elciad, sure. No, we don't have to fight this turn. Chandra. Okay. So we're gonna go to combat, attack. We're gonna hold off on the Chandra. Light up the stage. Shock is not bad. Oh, I guess they can save it with God's Willing. Do we need to just kill it now? First off, we'll play Stomping Grounds. Tapped. We're not going to play Chandra this turn. Then go Shock on the Elciad. Pass the turn. We don't want them... Because they're going to have this God's Willing to protect, we don't want them to have that and also put a bunch of counters on a lifelinker. Them putting a bunch of counters on just a random threat is whatever. But specifically being able to have a lifelinker that they get up to like 4 power this turn seems really bad for us. We have this Call in the Ambush at instant speed as well. Although the God's Willing makes it a little awkward. We'll see what they do. They're going to need to... I guess they don't... They got a couple turns to cast the God's Willing. I don't think they're going to be casting the Octagonus this turn. I think they'll probably cast it next turn. They just don't cast a blocker, though. We have them dead by casting the Chandra and either flashing back the Shock or Soulscar Mage. Sure. Sure. Wow, they're actually casting the Ox. Interesting. Well, we're gonna... We want to fight the Soulscar Mage. Yeah. Fight the Soulscar Mage. Okay, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huh. I can flash back the Shock. Kill the Ox. And not have to exert the Glorybringer. I could also exert the Glorybringer. Man, maybe fighting was actually a mistake because of that Soulscar Mage putting a -1/-1 counter on it. I can do 7 points of damage here, but not enough to kill. That does put them in a pretty bad spot, though, where they have to kill a lot of threats. Okay. We're gonna go...
Chandra, you need more control. Just let me burn.
Yeah. We're gonna do it like this.
Hey, these little guys are great.
Attack. Yeah. Exert. Put them down to 1. Play the Dragonkin Berserker. And we've got a lot of must-answer threats now. We've got Chandra, which just kills them. Glorybringer, which just kills them. Stonecoil Serpent, which they have to leave back a blocker for, which this doesn't count as. We've got a Dragonkin Berserker, which is our first striker, which makes it a pretty, pretty annoying thing to get through here. And also, it's going to be spitting out 5/5s, which are going to be pretty bad for them. So we've got a lot of things here, but it's actually, we don't have this as sealed up as it might look. Man, yeah. We needed to get that Soulscar Mage out of the way. Well, there's the best possible thing they could have drawn, I think. 1 mana kill our threat is pretty good. We needed to fight to get the Soulscar Mage out of the way, because we wouldn't have had lethal last turn anyway. I guess we would have. No, we wouldn't have, because we could. Yeah, so we needed to get that thing out of the way, or we wouldn't have had lethal anyway. So it's not like we threw away lethal by fighting, but that -1/-1 counter from it being non-combat damage actually was pretty massively important to this game. Maybe I should just have not killed the Ox. Maybe I should have just not exerted. That leaves us pretty open to being just dead here, though. Is the problem, because they could get back this Phoenix of Ash. They have 4 power on the board. They already have a bunch of power here. So we were pretty likely dead if I didn't kill the Ox. Let's see what they do here. Wow. Well, they may have it. They may have it. Yeah, they definitely got to kill Chandra. Burn spell off the top is our only hope here, really. Come on. Get him down to 1. Any burn spell kills him. I think we're just dead. Ugh, brutal. Brutal. Yeah, I think we're just dead, because I can just pump this Goblin Banneret. Let's see what they do, but they've got us dead here. Brutal. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's some way we could have played that to win, but it kind of seems like no matter what we did there, we were just 1 point of damage short. Interesting, they're actually getting back the Phoenix. We might still just be dead, but really all they have to do is pump the Goblin Banneret. Yeah. And we're dead here. Yeah, there's no way to live. Yep, they got us. No blocks. Yeah, I don't know. It was close. We got them down to 1. If we had drawn another burn spell, we would have had it. And I almost feel like there's some way we could have won that through some combination of the fight spell and... But the truth is we just had to kill the Soulscar Mage. Maybe... Okay. Maybe what we had to do was... Play the Chandra next turn. Flashback the shock. Use the shock to kill the Pyromancer or the Soulscar Mage, so we wouldn't get a -1/-1 counter, and then fight. But then we couldn't. Yeah, then we wouldn't have lethal because we wouldn't be able to make the tokens. I don't know. I'm thinking about it too much. So we lost. Whatever. On to the next one. All right. Up against Tangerine's the name. Don't wear it out. And this is a really awkward hand. I think we have to mulligan this, unfortunately. We do have, we have a good turn 2 play, a good turn 3 play, but this Torrent's so far away from being castable. And it's almost like having a 6-land hand anyway, or 6-card hand anyway. This is really not much better. Huh. I guess we keep it, go down a forest. We'll see if we draw a land or not. We draw a land. Okay, well... I guess we play the Sentinel. Alright, well, he will attack. Play this on red. Pass turn. We're not gonna... We're not gonna play the Colony Ambush now that we've drawn a land. I think it's more useful as a fight spell. For that reason. Okay. Unfortunately, they could be leaving up a removal spell for 1 mana here, so I think... Okay, we're just gonna have to Royal Eruption this thing. Yeah, it's too risky to try to do something tricky there, so we're just gonna play that as a land. And now that we have the Glorybringer and we want the double red, I think I am just gonna play this as a land, because we want to play this on red. Okay, yeah, I think we go Rada, see if we got a land on top. Yeah, boy. Alright, and go to combat. Attack. Maybe we should have just regrowth to get back in a Royal Eruption. I think I'd rather save it for like a Glorybringer though, because they undoubtedly have some removal just waiting in the wings here. We're going to hold on to this Engaiacrus. There's a pretty good chance our opponent, or Gem Razor, there's a pretty good chance that our opponent has something we'll want to blow up eventually. Yeah, and I'm pretty okay here just running out the Glorybringer as a hasty threat. Pretty good chance it just dies, but it demands an answer and we can regrowth it back and haste it in later for 7 mana. So I'd rather do that. Oh, here we go. There's something to blow up with our Gem Razor. It's pretty good. Yeah, there's the removal spell. That's okay, because we're going to go... Whoa, Stonecoil Serpent. Well, we're going to go... Yeah, we're going to go mutate this, put it on top, blow up the Search for Riscanta, attack, and I think we're just going to play this and go 1, 2, 3, because potentially we could... I mean, if our opponent Wraths here, it's not great, but we have this regrowth into Hasty Glorybringer. Well, okay. Sure. No blocks. Opponent's got a Glorybringer too. Alright, and now we get to... We don't quite have lethal. We could also regrowth back the Royal Eruption, but we can't really cast it overloaded. Jeez. I guess we could, in Engaiacrus 2, go up to 7. We're just 1 point of damage short no matter what we do. Yeah, whatever. Let's just get back the Glorybringer. I think this is the thing that gives us the most ways to kill our opponent. They need... Okay. Well, they didn't even check to see... I mean, if they drew a Languish there, we didn't quite have the win. Because we could get them down to 1 here. The thing is, if we get back the Gem Razor was another option to get back. We get back Gem Razor, mutated on top of Stonekiller Serpent, and have a 7/7. That would be better for something like Lava Coil, where it's 4 damage to 1 target. It would give us a big 7/7 to survive something like that. But it would be worse if they have some kind of 1 target removal spell. This would leave us with two lethal attackers here. So really, the worst thing would be something like Languish would just kill us. And another option we could have gone for is regrowthing back the Royal Eruption. We would attack them for 3 this turn, and that would get them down to 5, and then we couldn't overload it this turn, but next turn we could overload it and deal 5 damage directly to their face. But then they could have countered that, they would have had mana up, so little, I don't know. I think we made the right choice given all the different situations that could have arisen from that point, so... but we weren't in the clear. I don't know if our opponent should have scooped. Maybe they just didn't have a Wrath. Maybe they didn't get to pick one up, like a Damnation. I don't even know if Damnation... I don't think Damnation is in this queue, but a Languish or whatever would have stabilized them. But in any case, we're on to the finals. All right. Win or lose, this is going to be it. We have 2 losses. We have 6 wins. So either we get the 7 wins or we get the last loss. Either way, this has been a pretty good draft. We got our money back and then some. But it would be cool to get the 7-0, or the 7-2, so let's see if we can make it happen. This has been a pretty interesting little Gruul aggro deck. It's got some punch to it for sure. Burst picking a Dromoka's, or not Dromoka's, a Tarka's Command was a little bit risky, but it kind of paid off. It's been definitely a very powerful card every time we cast it. Usually it's something like deal 6 damage to our opponent, which is pretty nice. And here we've got Dragon's Guard Elite plus a 1-mana spell, which seems nice. So we can go turn 1 Llanowar Elves, turn 2 Dragon's Guard Elite, leave up Rimrock Knight, and if we feel like growing it, we can. Another option is we could hold off on the Dragon's Guard Elite and just do a big Pillar of Flame. Okay, Pillar of Flame makes me really want to play the Dragon's Guard Elite here and just pop them. Just put the pedal to the metal. We got ourselves a 3/3 on turn 2. We burnt you. We got regrowth to make it... Oh. Holy moly. Okay. How do we do this? Okay, we're going to go... Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're just gonna go crazy here. So 3 damage, +1/+1 to everything. Hit our opponent for 7. Oh no, do they have a way to... No! Oh, that's so brutal. That might win them the game. That was 2 mana kill a creature is exactly what they needed to stay in the game there, and they had it. That's pretty brutal. Alright, well, we'll go... Dragon's Guard Elite. Yeah, Dragon's Guard Elite. Attack our opponent. Unfortunately, they pretty likely have a Wrath here. Looks like they're on Jeskai control. Oh, they double visioned. They double visioned. Does that mean... What does that mean for us? So we can go... We can get back a Tarka's Command. That's +1. Play a Tarka's Command. That doesn't really work. I think what we do is Rimrock Knight... Dragon's Guard Elite. Regrowth. Pillar of Flame. We're getting in while the getting's good. Hit our opponent down to 3. Alright, we got you as low as we can. They are dead to... We have so many burn spells we could just rip off the top and kill them. Lightning Bolt's one of them. Okay. Go to combat. Attack. Probably shouldn't have attacked with the Llanowar Elves. Commit. Woo! Oh, he got there. Oh, wow, that was a close game. Our opponent was so close to stabilizing there. If they had had a Wrath instead of a Double Vision, we probably could have won that game. But, oh, so our opponent was going to commit, bounce both of our attackers back to the top of our deck, but we had the Lightning Bolt. I was a little bit scared if we had Lightning Bolted here and they had an interaction spell of some kind, we would have been pretty screwed. We could play the Rimrock Knight, which would have been a lethal attacker, but yeah, we were riding on the edge there. Our opponent just needed a little bit more interaction or a Wrath to really seal the deal, but they didn't have it. Dragonsguard Elite, it's just a messed up card. You saw how much damage it did that game. This is kind of the star player of our deck has been Dragonsguard Elite. It's a very good card, and it kind of shows, I think, how the cube is different this time than it was before, because you have all these like 1 mana interactive spells that are pretty good, or 1 or 2 mana interactive spells that just make a card like Dragonsguard Elite just so much better. We just did like 1.5 million damage over the course of the last couple turns. So yeah, wow. Whew. So our Gruul aggro deck ended up getting all the way there. A couple of losses, but otherwise just kind of tore people up. Had a couple close games, but a lot of games that weren't even remotely close. So we get 6,000. There's an entry fee of, I think, 400, so that's a pretty good little profit there. And yeah, got some rares out of the deal too. So Arena Cube's great. I would highly recommend it to anybody who's interested. It's pretty close to a real cube now. I think the mythical archives have really, or mystical archives have really just pushed it up a whole like notch. Like we were getting to, you know, more and more like a real cube, and then we just kind of went boop, and this is like stronger than a lot of cubes you would even play in real life at this point. So I think Arena Cube is kind of legit. Anyway, this has been 2D. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I enjoyed tearing things up with our little Gruul deck here, and I'll see you next time.